Hey guys, welcome back to Mama Duvet. I'm Shelby, and in my last video I shared my garden setup with you, me putting all of my plants in the ground and getting my summer garden ready. And now it is 2 months later, and I am here to share what the garden looks like with you and just what I'm going to be doing today in the garden while my kids are down for quiet time / nap time. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. Before I show you today what's going on in the garden, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw in a couple of clips that I took over the past couple of months just on the garden, and I'll include a date so you kind of get to this point. And then we'll get into today. Peas are doing great. Waiting on them to plump up enough to pick. These are my peppers. See, some of them are stunted, but then those are great. Those are great. Those are not. My tomatoes. That one is great, and I wonder if it's because I planted rosemary near it, because that's the only difference here. These are doing okay. That one is okay, but a lot of them look like that. That little one. I have birds eating every sunflower that I plant over here. Flowers, though, over there are starting to sprout. I have this zucchini plant who is looking great. However, I have not seen any bees, and see the one flower on that one? My Roma tomato plants are starting to be okay, but that one's not. That one's kind of okay. All right, and this one, these are beans, and those grew super fast. This is a zucchini plant, another zucchini plant. That's a newer zucchini plant that's growing faster. I don't know. Cucumbers are really dark and green. Again, no bees though, so I don't know that any of the cucumbers are actually getting pollinated. I planted these sweet potato slips when it was still too cold, so that's why they look so awful, but there are dark green leaves coming in, so we'll see what happens here. This is my original garden bed, so it has like all kinds of different soil in it, not just what I put in this year. That's a weed. Those are my only beets that are growing well. This is a zucchini plant that I have not fertilized. Another zucchini plant that I have not fertilized. Onions. I've never grown onions before, but I've already cut the green off of them once. Apparently that makes the onion bulb grow bigger. More peas. A lot more peas. Still kind of waiting for them to plump up more. Radishes and carrots that are not seeming to get plumped up. I'm not really sure what's going on there. More peas. Lots of peas. Radishes and carrots. Again, my potatoes though are doing really well. This is the one that I got from Walmart. The seed potatoes from Walmart, that one is. These two are from store-bought potatoes. This is a raspberry plant. I don't know what I'm doing with raspberry plant. My blueberries are doing okay. But I think birds are like picking at them, so they keep falling down here. And who knows if I'll actually have any when they're ready. This one only has a few on it, like there and here. All right, so of course it's gonna get windy as soon as I start, but I've got a little lavender plant over here in the corner, and this is my bed number 3. I went ahead and put some flowers in here because I hadn't seen any bees, and I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to have any pollinators by my garden. So I did that, and I'm so glad I did because I have plenty of bees now. So this is what it looks like now. So right now I still need to put the cotton string in here. Some of my plants at this point have been taken out. Some of them were kind of stunted. This one here is still kind of stunted. And these are all my yellow pear tomatoes. I've got heirloom right here, these two. And these are, I believe, beefsteak right here. My marigolds, a lot of them shot up really big like this. I've got one over there actually that is just killing it. My peppers are hit and miss. I've had a bit of a slug problem. And roly-polies, I think they're also called pill bugs. And they have tried to eat just about everything I've put out here. But I did plant some herbs here. I've got some dill doing really well over there. Some Thai basil. More Thai basil here. This is where those peas were. If you saw in the updates that I shared, I had peas planted here as well as in this garden bed over here. So when I took these out, I decided that instead of planting cucumbers, I wanted to plant herbs. So this is going to be kind of like my little herb patch right here. I've got some oregano and rosemary, and I'm going to plant some lemon balm and cilantro and who knows what else here. And then this is my like star zucchini plant right here. And I've actually got a baby one right there. Hopefully this one got pollinated. I want to say it did. I think it looks a little bigger, but the flower closed already. And, oh, I forgot. One cilantro plant that's doing very well. I'm wondering if it has to do with the shade. I probably bought like 20 marigolds, and quite a few of them have died because, again, slugs and pill bugs. But hey, at least it's happening to my marigolds and not as much to my plants. So I needed to deadhead some of these, but this one's doing really well. But see this little guy over here? He has just been devoured. I was originally planning on putting sunflowers in the back row here, but every single sunflower that I planted sprouted and a bird ate it. So next time I'm gonna have to come up with a better plan because that did not work. It's windy, so I'm really hoping that you can hear me, but this is my watermelon plant. I wasn't gonna do watermelon because they take over so much space, but this is a sugar baby, and I'm actually going to move it to just some open space over here. And I'm either gonna let it just spill all over the ground or I'm gonna build a trellis system. So it just depends on what I can do. And this is that marigold that is doing so well. And then right next door to it, this one's doing really not so well. It looks like there's a flower at the top, but all the leaves are just like pitiful. And the only thing I can think is, you won't believe what I found in the cinder block behind it. You guessed it. Termites. We'll talk about that later though. I've got green beans planted here. And I don't know if it was my fertilizer or what, but they bloomed flowers and I got a few beans. Look, I need to pick one right there. I got a few beans and then they grew a little bit taller, got darker, and now I don't see any more beans. So I don't know if I messed it up by fertilizing them. And then here's another zucchini plant. I'm paying attention to this leaf for powdery mildew, and this one looks like it's starting to get it too. I've learned you can just prune and prune and prune zucchini leaves. If you are on any of my other social media platforms, you saw my shorts reel on where this leaf damage came from. Anyway, this is my cucumber patch, and again, with the colors of the leaves, I've got light yellow here. I think this must have missed out on the fertilizer. The darker ones got it, and maybe back there, another issue with the fertilizer, or again, it is close to this marigold. So I don't know if there's something going on in the soil here or what, but like even the little pepper plant that I put there is stunted compared to the one next to it. And then in the middle here, I planted radishes, some bok choy, and I believe carrots. I think that's what I planted there, and I did that recently, so I've just got little babies popping up, and they might get eaten by the roly-polies that I was telling you about. Over here, this is my sweet potato that I grew on my windowsill. These are the slips, and they are doing really well right now. I've got a few onions planted along the side here. I'm trying to manage pests as naturally as possible. I've got some rosemary. Okay, so this is kind of confusing here, but I have one zucchini plant here and one zucchini plant here. Honestly, I didn't have a lot of faith in my zucchini plants doing well, so I overdid it and planted too many of them. And then also last year, this bed was full of zucchini that did not, oh, and cucumbers. The zucchini I didn't get anything out of last year. So I planted these bean plants here just to add nitrogen to the soil, hoping it would help the zucchini. No one told me to do that. I didn't read to do that. I came up with that all on my own. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. Okay, and then over here I have one more little pepper plant. This is a sweet pepper around my onions. And I've never done onions before. I don't feel like those are bulbing out very much. We'll see. Okay, so this is a new one for me. These are black beans, and I just planted those a few days ago, and they're already popped up, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And then same thing with this patch of black beans. If you see here, I've got some marigolds because, dude, I have a slug and roly-poly problem, and I'm just trying to get them to eat those instead of my plants. Anyway, these carrots were in between the 2 rows of peas I had here, and then these carrots were as well. This is another thing I've never grown before. I did not space these out properly. I don't think I'm gonna get many carrots out of this. I might get one here because that one is by itself. Again, carrots are new to me, and I'm going to try again this fall, so I'll do better then. I've got a little basil plant here. I threw a black cherry transplant in the ground here and here. These cucumbers I was going to give to my mom, and they just sat in their cups for so long that they were going to die. And I was like, you know what, either I can up pot them and keep holding onto them for her, because I didn't have a plan to see her in anytime soon. Anyway, I put them in the ground and cut off all of the baby cucumbers that were starting to grow so that the leaves could try to grow a little bit before fruit. We'll see what happens. They might die. I also need to figure out what I'm going to plant over here because I don't like leaving the soil bare. That's just asking for pests. And then same thing here. So I'm going to figure that out. Today I plan on checking out these potatoes. I have harvested the other 2 things of potatoes, and I might have gotten 2 cups of mashed potatoes total. I didn't do this right. I need to do more research before I do it again. We'll see what happens when I do this one. And then I have in this pot over here, I planted, and I need to water again, I planted little sugar pie pumpkins, I think is what they're called. And I was just gonna let them spill all over the ground here. And then here I'm trying to grow some chamomile and flowers, wild flowers, which I've never actually grown. All right, let's see what's going on with these potatoes. The other 2, I had some rotten potatoes in the bottom, so I'm assuming I let them get too wet. There's one. Ooh, some big old worms in there. Look at this big old guy. He's huge. We're gonna put him in here. Sorry, my camera died. I had to come back in. Anyway, I brought the potatoes in with me, and this was the harvest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiny potatoes. Okay, so as I showed you earlier, I've got black beans planted. Sorry, let me fix this. I've got black beans planted in this bed. I did a little patch of 3 rows here, and it looks like this row did not grow. And honestly, I came back out here the day after, and all the beans had been taken out. Like, they just were taken out and dropped. So I put them back in. Maybe they got messed up when that happened. So anyway, I'm going to put some more beans here, and I may actually just fill in this whole area right here with black beans because my family loves black beans. And also, I planted every single pea that came in the Snappy Peas, I think it was a Burpee brand package. And yeah, we had lots of peas, but we never like had enough peas for a whole meal, if that makes sense. Like, we ate them so quickly that as soon as they were ready, someone was eating them. So, or even if they weren't ready and the skin was really soft, my son would just eat the whole thing. So we will definitely do peas again though, because it was just a really great experience and really good learning for him. At the end, they did end up with some powdery mildew, and I had a lot of leaf miners before they were gone. I don't know what it is this year, but my garden is just, every single pest has just come to say hi. What did I bring out here? Cilantro, thyme, lemon balm, and cucumbers. I think what I'm gonna do, no, I'm not, because they were already planted there before. Yeah, I'm gonna direct sow, because this is kind of a shadier part of the garden. I'm gonna direct sow some cilantro in the front here, and more black beans in the corner over here. One thing that I find kind of funny is I can't tell you how many times I've planted something and completely forgot that I did. You don't want them to be too deep. I think that's part of my problem, is I have planted a lot of things probably too deep. I'm wondering if that's why I didn't have any radishes. Like, if you remember, I had radishes planted with my carrots in between my peas, and my radishes never bulbed out, if that makes sense. Like, they never had a ball at the bottom. Maybe I didn't leave them long enough, but I'm almost positive I did. Okay. Alright, little cilantro patch. Let's see what happens with you. And then let's do some lemon balm here. Let's read about it first. It says, full sun. Leo, you're gonna get part sun. Those seeds were tiny. So I made the choice to plant the black beans here, and I just read the back of the packet. They need full sun, which this is not full sun. If the temperatures are above 80, the pods won't set. Maybe that's what's wrong with the green beans, but also that means these may not produce black beans because it is Georgia. We're in zone 7B here. But you know what? I'm gonna try, because this is me. This is what I do. And I can always buy another pack and do the same thing again. There's only this many left anyway. Okay, so when I put these green beans here, I meant to plant pole beans, because that was the point in this beautiful trellis. Anyway, I grabbed the wrong pack when I went to plant out here, and I did the wrong ones, and then later found this one and went, I put the wrong beans in. So these are not doing wonderfully. They're not producing that much. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that it's warm outside and maybe they're the same as the black beans and the pods won't set if it's too hot. You learn something new every day. Anyway, I'm going to pull the ones out that look unhealthy and replace with pole beans. Some can grow up and some cannot. Look at this little guy. Terrible. This is slug damage and roly-polies. They're just devouring this stuff. It looks like it was trying to come back, but we're done with you. Well, it sounds like my baby is still not asleep and she's crying, so I'm gonna have to stop. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoyed the garden update, and I'll continue to do these days in the garden with you. So make sure that you're subscribed to my channel, and if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up.